Yeah, and we are live. Hey, sorry for no notifying. This is off the cuff. This is off the back. I want you guys to be a part of the Fatboy Sports Podcast. How you doing today, Mondo?
What's good, man? I'm doing great. How about yourself?
You know what? It got to 98 fucking degrees outside today, man.
Oh yeah, it's hot. It's
The
hot.
balls are loose. They're loose. They're sweaty. The gooch is on. It's on, but it's that Arizona life for sure. So, oh, got that notification that we are on live and popping. This is a a sample show. This is basically the first dry run together with me and Armando. You know me, Mikey Mike up from shows like the Cowboy Huddle, the Cowboy Up podcast, the Three Amigos. This is all a part of the umbrella of the Cowboy Up network. I gotta say special thanks to my boy Chris Lee. Um, for throwing this on, man, and putting it together and making something that me and this kid have done forever. You're getting an insight on conversations on things that we talked about, things we've argued about, the things that we haven't been eye to eye on, and it's this is a blessing, bar none. And how you doing? How you doing, WWE guy 956 forever? So like it's going on, and it's we already got somebody on. This is the WWE guy. His name is Ivan Sosa. How you doing, Puro Pichi Cowboys, Ivan? So Mando, let's get a little bit about yourself. Let's let the audience know you were a part of the Cowboy Up podcast not too long ago. You're a Cardinal fan, obviously.
Die hard
All that.
bird gang, baby. Bird
Bird.
gang all the way.
Let us know about you. I don't want to know your social security. I don't want to know your body count. I don't want to know nothing like that.
Yeah.
But let our audience know what's up with Mondo with Papas.
Yeah, I mean I'm just a chill like I'm die hard football. Die hard football fan. Growing up with you, man, all we did was talk football. All we did was just talk sports and, being a Cardinals fan and a Cowboys fan, we never saw eye to eye, but growing
Never.
up to love the game, you really just appreciate different things, talking to different people, different fans. It's just I love all sports. I could talk anything all day long. Um,
Yeah,
and
you
just
got the
a
genes.
real football fan, man, all the way.
Well, if you don't know, our dynamic is Armando right here, he is my stepson. I was fortunate to meet this kid, and he said a story. He said a story on the Cowboy podcast about why he became a Cardinal fan. He is my stepson. As much as there's a resemblance. You know what I mean. He looks a lot like his biological father, and he gets that too. As much as he likes the Cardinals, he gets that from his biological father. Like no, like I tried to put a star on him. And the fortuitous thing
Nah,
is
get that out of here.
I met this kid, and he probably doesn't remember. He was 7 years old, and I met him in a Super Bowl game. What Super Bowl was that, Papas? What Super Bowl? Do you remember
Most
what Super Bowl that
heartbreaking
was?
moment ever for any Cardinals fan.
Say that
Most
again. I was a little
heartbroken,
loud. Say it again.
most heartbreaking memory ever, ever. San Antonio Holmes never got them feet down.
Yeah.
Never did.
Well, Larry was like, and we thought it was gonna be it, but the big thing was Kurt's interception going into halftime that really swayed the game.
It did, but the legend himself, Larry, and his, I think, is the best playoff performance of all time. Still think that he's one of the best playoff performers ever, even though he only went there twice. Almost got us the Super Bowl, and that you asked him. A couple of people have asked him in a lot of interviews what his only regret ever was just not taking that knee. and not going down early, just taking that touchdown instead. We gave Big Ben too much time, and apparently the refs were in on it because Santonio still didn't have them feet down, clear as day.
It, it was a toe tap, Papas. It was a
No, it
toe tap,
wasn't.
Mondo.
Hey, he
It
had
was one
one
of the
on top of the
greatest catches
other.
of all time.
Nah,
Well,
nah.
and like every Cardinal lets me know, at least they've been there in the last 20 years. So at least you've been there in the last
Exactly. At
20
least we
years.
made it past the divisional.
Yeah, that's what counts. That's what counts. I'm not gonna dig into how we could go all night because we hang Super Bowl banners. You could hang your NFC West championship banners. It's all good. There's levels to this, and I
Jeez.
digress. I digress. But so the reason we're doing this show today is Mondo's extensive knowledge of the draft. You know, I'm so proud on how I instilled because living in a house with me, you always had it on ESPN or NFL Network or the radio. You know, as much as Adrian, to his dismay, which is his little brother, the middle child, would hate that I'd had sports on. It was always the same. So he picked up the love of the sport and that the NFL is year round. And in saying that, Mando, what are you feeling? Are you excited? Are you
I'm
excited for
excited.
this?
This is such a great draft. It's such a deep draft class. This is honestly the offense draft class. The only thing that's not in this draft is running backs, but those are a dime a dozen. So this is just a really great time of the year. I think every fan, no matter if you won the bowl, no matter if you lost early on and didn't even make the playoffs, it's an exciting time for everybody.
Yeah, it is. It's just because it's the rebirth of your team again. It's the re-excitement, and it's unfair to baseball. It's unfair to basketball because the draft itself is going to get more eyes on it than actual playoff games for basketball, for actual
Oh,
baseball
oh,
games. If you like round ball, I'm sorry if you do, but the funny ball is it takes precedence over everything. But it's the rebirth. Of course, you have the free agent season because our teams didn't do a jack shit in free agency, so there's
oh,
nothing really to talk about. But sometimes not winning free agency is a good thing because usually when teams win the offensive or the free agent season, they win the free agent Super Bowl or the offseason Super Bowl doesn't really translate into real tangible wins, the real W's that go on in real football. But in saying that, the Bears are on the clock, Mondo. The Bears are on the clock. They
the
they, they
Bears
don't have
definitely are.
Chase, or they don't have him. They gave him to Pittsburgh, so they need to fill that void. And in this league, you need a QB number one. You are familiar with picking a number one overall pick quarterback. The Cowboys did it once and it changed my life forever. But I want your insight. A
Yeah.
lot of people are saying Jaden Daniels. A lot of people even have Drake May. Some crazy people are saying JJ, which I don't know what they are. You know what I
Nah,
mean? but
nah, they're crazy on Drake,
so
man.
so who is going to be picked number one?
It's it's so easy. It's just Williams. It's Williams all the way. There's nothing else you could say about it. Williams, just like the Cardinals pick Kyler, I see Williams as a bigger Kyler Murray. This dude is an elite playmaker who moves around the pocket, manipulates D linemen to get in and out, sideline to sideline, wherever he wants to go to throw the ball. He's got such an elite arm talent. Everybody wants to everyone wants to say he's Patrick Mahomes because he got all these arm angles and he got a big arm. He, in a sense, he's like that. Uh, he's got just an amazing pocket presence. When manipulating the pocket, he moves around. and he makes a lot of plays like that. The thing is, though, when
The
you
thing,
do
what's the
that
thing?
over and
That thing,
over,
that thing. What's that thing?
he plays too much hero ball. That's his one flaw. This guy just
Can I
like
be
he's Josh
saved?
Allen with it.
Can I be saved?
This man, Josh Allen, like trying to make the big plays over and over. He takes sacks, he forces throws, and he all these negative plays. And it's not that good. But you put him in the right QB coach, you put him in the right system, he's gonna explode and he's gonna be a Pro Bowl quarterback right away. He's just the easy answer.
And I see what the Bears are doing. you know, Kareem Allen smokes the Cowboys for a buck 20 every time. Every time.
Every time.
And DJ Moore is nothing to be to like snarl at. Plus,
Uh,
they got another pick. They got another pick down the line where they could pick up Roman. And
Oh
if they do that, they have that combination. But we'll talk about that. So, with Caleb Williams, since we're, rest in peace to the Pac-10.
yeah.
Rest in peace to the Pac-10, Mondo.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
yeah.
No. But see, not that way. It's gone. It's not a part of our life. Bear the fuck down. But it's not here. Um, excuse me. Um, it's I didn't see it. Like you said earlier, everybody wants the new Patrick Mahomes. Love was the next guy, and that's where this copycat leaves. Sometimes you'll get caught in that, and every team is going to want something like that. He does have the talent. I don't think he's big enough. I like what he did at Oklahoma, taking Spencer Rattler's job and being that guy, winning the Heisman. He has all the tools, but in this year in particular, you saw a side of this kid when the going got rough. The Jay Cutler face came.
Yeah,
Like,
you can.
like he
I
dropped
get
his
that.
fucking
I
like
get
he dropped
that.
his ice cream cone. Every time he had that look like he dropped his ice cream cone. You know that look, Papas. You dropped your ice cream cone. I a fat guy dropping his ice cream cone. And I
Yeah.
and with wide receivers is one thing, but with quarterbacks, the mannerism, the energy, it's a big deal. And he's playing in. If he goes number one, which he is going to be projected to number one, who are we saying? What are we saying? He needs to be tough in a city like Chicago, 85 Bears, all of that defense. He
Oh
needs
yeah.
to toughen up now or yesterday.
And see, that's the other knock on him. He's very emotional. Everybody saw him crying with his mom up in the bleachers. Like, come on, man. You're in college football. Your teammates saw that. The whole world saw that. You can't be doing that. That's just way too much emotion. That's plain diva. And with how he handled this offseason, showed a little more. He's got a lot of diva in him. And, sometimes it's not a bad thing, but it's mostly just a bunch of trouble. This guy he really does need to shape up, toughen up, and he's gonna go into a really good situation. Like you said, he's got two great wide receivers. Pat Fryermuth is a pretty good tight end. The Bears have been building that defense and that offensive line. It's not the worst, but
They
it's
got
not the
that
best.
steal in the fifth round last year. They
Exactly.
stole themselves a right tackle. I wish we have a good right tackle, but the line is the protection of the line. And you're right. You're what is it? Brian Poles has been making this
Yeah.
team. So we all right. Number one is established. We could talk all day. We could talk all day, but we have to go on. And now on to what Cowboy Chris would say the hated, the
The
hated
hate.
Washington Charmanders. What do you think about this? Because we saw this is another ex Pac 10 kid that we hated. We hated this kid. And you know what? I'm going to say something. So, the next guy projected is Jaden Daniels. Do you agree with me?
Honestly, yes. But only because his offensive coordinator is gonna be Cliff Kingsbury, who throughout his college career, throughout when he was with the Cardinals in the NFL and his air raid system, come on, that he only wants one thing from a
Cliff,
QB,
I'm sorry,
and
Johnny
that's
Manziel got Cliff Kingsbury, got him money. When you saw him, he didn't do anything with Patrick Mahomes. He
no,
didn't do
he
anything
didn't.
with Baker. And if anything, he was just a pick to get Kyler Murray. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to fight with you, but
No,
what did
I
he
agree.
do?
I agree. I hated Cliff Kingsbury with all my gut. God, he was such a horrible head coach. But again,
But
just
it works
because he's there,
because Dan Quinn is the next head coach. Dan Quinn is a player's coach, and Cliff Kingsbury is not going to be the head coach. So I see
nope.
it working.
Yeah. And see, there's a lot that he likes with his quarterbacks. He wants them to be able to throw on the run. He wants them mobile, and that's exactly what Jaden Daniels is. This dude has he's Lamar with better accuracy coming out of the draft. This guy throws the deep ball so perfect every single time. When he was in the combine, he threw a perfect pass over and over. In LSU, all he did was lay the ball up there for neighbors over and over, right over the shoulder in the perfect spot. So he has he has really elite accuracy. He has the athleticism. This man, just like Lamar, he could take off, beat you with his speed, beat you with his athleticism. He makes plays over and over. But when it comes to that, this man he loves taking hits. He doesn't know how to when to go down. He doesn't know when to just go out of bounds, just to throw it away, take what you can. That's where it's gonna get really
And
exposed.
this is the Fat Boy Sports Podcast. So we know all about extra padding. We know about eating extra tacos. We know about that extra weight and that extra cushion. And this kid doesn't have it. And he's been
No.
slandered since he was at with the Scum Devils,
Oh god.
ASU Basura. It's ever since he was over there. And I didn't see anything special all this year. I didn't see anything. He wowed and he's in a combine in your shorts against air. That's beautiful. And then all his numbers came against subpar teams. I think they gifted him the Heisman. We could go on and about how he got this with subpar teams. I just don't see it in this kid. If
And see, that's
anything,
another thing
I'm
too.
kind of happy that the Charmanders are going to throw away this pick
Yeah. And that's another thing too. He at ASU was nothing. Didn't do a damn thing. And
as they
with
should.
LSU, he was given a simple system. All they did was the same plays over and over, just scramble it or throw it in Nabbers or throw it to Brian Thomas. He had elite wide receiver talent. He had an elite talent all around him, defense, offensive line. So it really is just that's a testament to him. Is he gonna be able to show that he can play with with below level talent? Because let's face it, the Commanders, they don't got a defense. Their offensive line is subpar. Look at what happened with Howell. That dude ended up being the most sacked person in the NFL. So
Well,
if
I
they
think he's.
take
I think it's
Jaden
second behind your
Daniels,
boy Russell Wilson. Shout out to Future.
yeah, and you take Daniels, you don't have protection for him. That slim figure, is he gonna be able to stay healthy? Is he gonna be able to, he can't run forever. That man's gonna at some point he's gonna get hit, and he loves taking those hits. So it's just the injury concern with his habits, his slim figure, and who he's gonna end up going to. Just that's a bad mix.
All right, Armando poses a good question. What if it's not? Because if we're still in the same two picks, do you see a surprise and the Bears going with Jalen Daniels, or do you think that number one is a lock?
No, would be very surprised if it's not Williams, mainly because Williams is he has the pedigree. Williams has been, the guy for the past
Like
two
he's Triple
years.
H. He got that pedigree. He knocked motherfuckers.
Exactly. Like it's been he's been number one since last year's draft. And Jaden Daniels, and he's really good, but he's not Williams.
And Jaden, but the thing about Jaden Daniels, it feels like he's been in college forever. And that's the thing about this draft, Mano. That's the nuance of this draft, especially like guys like Michael Penix Jr., Jalen Daniels, even Drake May. The COVID season extended a lot of these guys. It feels like we've seen these guys for almost 8 years. And some of these guys have 8 years of eligibility because of
Yeah.
what they use with COVID. And Jaden Daniels is one of those fifth year guys, and it doesn't hurt with quarterbacks to have those extra snaps, and that's why he looks so damn good because
Honestly, I think it
he
helps.
had all that experience in the SEC. Brian Kelly's system is tailor made for him. Not to mention the talent, so it didn't translate to wins. Wonder why weren't they in the Final Four if this guy is such a great quarterback?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question. It could be that he's probably not made for the big lights. He choked a little bit when it came down to the big times. But above all that, I do think he's gonna be a good quarterback. It's just about, can Washington protect him? Can he not? Can he understand not to take hits? Because I think
All right, we
he's
got to
the
go forward. We
accuracy's
can,
there.
like I
He's
said, we
got
could go all
touch.
day. Remember, like, subscribe to this is the Fat Boy Sports Podcast. It's all you can eat sports. It's all you.
You lost the mic there. Oh man, I think he lost his mic. Give him a second. We can't hear you, man.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. There we go.
I
There we
said
go.
it's again. It's the All You Can Eat Sports Podcast, the Fat Boy Sports Podcast. All you can eat for person, not for whale. I've been kicked out of a buffet like that. So let's go on to um a brand new coaches team, something that we rarely saw for years because there was this man, right? And this is the way he talks. He goes, man, man. He wore number 12, and he ended up being the most winningest quarterback in the league, the most Super Bowls under his belt, and he played for this team. He played for New England. This is a brand new New England team without Belichick, without Brady, a whole new regime. This is an uncommon place for this team, and I know it's April, but it's gonna look like May. What do you think, Armando?
And the Patriots, ever since Tom has been out of there, they could not find an answer. They tried it with uh Mac Jones, didn't work. They tried it with what's his name? The other quarterback is slipping my mind. Bailey Zappi. Didn't work.
You got Zappy.
I think this pick's gonna be Drake May. It's gonna be just because the Patriots, they like their prototypical quarterbacks, and that's exactly what May is. He's got the Josh Allen type build. Not as much of a big arm as Allen, but he's got the arm. Now
Well,
the thing is,
do you think you think they want him for the weather that they're going to face? Is that what you're saying?
yes, I definitely do. Uh, they see, like you said, it's a copycat league. They got the copycat in the division. Now Drake May, he's the exact build, and his mobility is just like Josh Allen. This man loves to be physical when he runs. He's got good speed. He's not as fast or agile as Jaden Daniels or Williams, but he can move. Now the thing with Drake May, and honestly, this is my pick for the bust of the draft, of the bust of the QBs.
And my pick was Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, this guy Drake May, he's a good QB. He's just like Williams. He's been chosen since last year's draft to be one of the top QBs taken. This guy though, He's got great accuracy deep, but he panics. He can't move around in the pocket as much. Every time that he gets pressured, he loses all control and he just doesn't know what to do. You
Control.
can't do that in the NFL. You can't. That happens, you're gonna turn the ball over, you're gonna create negative plays, you're not gonna do well. It's not gonna be a good time.
Oh, and you're not gonna have a good time. You got a pizza and you got a French fry. Pizza, but if you don't French fry when you pizza, you're not gonna have a good time. So, all right, uh, Drake May. I My problem with these three quarterbacks being on top. What successes did they have?
Yeah, that's the biggest question. They don't have that much success. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams are Heisman winners, but they didn't really win. Only I think only one quarterback in the top four that are gonna go has
And
really won.
let's talk about number four now, because this could be the first potential trade, and it's very interesting considering who's picking number four. Mondo, who's picking number four?
The Arizona Cardinals, baby.
Arizona.
This is where the draft starts. This is exactly where the
You think
draft
so? I think. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it's a lock. The top three QBs are going one, two, and three. The order, we could go all day about that, but number four is where it starts. It's either the Cardinals stay and pick, the number one receiver in the draft, Marvin Harrison Jr., or they trade out. And they have options trading out. There's three or four teams that want to come up to four to select the fourth quarterback,
Let's talk about
JJ
them.
McCarthy.
Let's talk about. But all right, say they don't trade out. You are saying Marvin Harris Jr. Correct?
Marvin Harrison, yes. This guy, yeesh.
Yeah, he is.
This guy coming
He catches
out,
pigeons in the air. That dude, he got those hands. He got those hands.
he's got great hands. And the thing about him is he's the most polished wide receiver in the draft. He's absolutely polished in everything that he does. I think he's the best route runner out of the big three. He has elite body control and such great um hands. He's everything that you want in wide receiver. He's got the size, 6'3". He's got the speed. I think he ran like a sub 4. He's got everything.
He got the big schooling. He has the
He's went up
name.
against
He
top
has the
talents.
big star potential. All right, we got it. We got it. All right, now let's talk, because we're potentially talking about the New York Giants at number six jumping and getting this pick. What would you feel about the New York Giants giving up that pick? So it could be the Giants, it could be the Raiders, or it could be Minnesota. It could be either of those threes picking right
I'd
there.
add
And
in the
then
Broncos there
if they
too.
pick right there, shout out to Maize and Blue over there, our boy, our boy, Cowboy Chris, a quarterback that actually did something out of these. If JJ gets there, McCarthy gets to number three, and let's say, I hope to God, the New York Giants pick of JJ McCarthy, because I don't see it. And Chris kicked my ass about this, but that team was a badass team, and we are just talking about yesterday about their running back being a big part and why he protected JJ McCarthy. But anyway, I digress. He's
Yeah.
getting looked at by um, the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings. Would you like to be trade back to the Yankees, the Giants, or Minnesota, or what do you think's really going to happen? Give me the
I
give me the variable takes, and then what you really want to happen.
Yeah, so it's a trade back. We traded back with the Giants. You're realistically looking at about a second rounder and a third rounder, maybe even turn it into a first round pick next year. It really just depends on how much the QB tax is worth for them.
Man, you are. You know what? You majored in business at the Aller School of Business. Your business tactics are very in question right here. If you have that six pick and they want that quarterback, you know what you do? You
You
hold
tax
on to
the
the
hell out of
booty. You hold on to the cookie. You don't let that cookie jar out until they give you what you want. You want another damn first round pick next year. But Mondo, come on. I thought you were a business student.
That's exactly what's gonna happen though. You got a bidding war going on. It's the Vikings, it's the Raiders, it's the Giants. I'd add in the Broncos. Add in the Broncos right there. Sean Payton has been going on over and over about how they are very much interested and very much in the market for a trade up. And they've been putting PS2, Patrick Surtain out there. That's very intriguing.
Is that true, Bondo? What Chris said earlier? That don't you pick four every year?
You know what? Last year was 3. You might as well have said 4.
Go ahead, bro. Go
It's
ahead.
a sad
Help
reality.
me with these comments. I got high blood pressure, so I can't see at this time of night. So you help me with your glasses and read some of these comments for me, man. I'm just putting them on the screen. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I got you.
So keep going. You're talking about they put PS2 out there, or PS3 or whatever.
Yeah. So let's go back to the Giants. You know, the trade you gotta tax them. You have to. But realistically, you know, you could get second, third, maybe even a first next year. That's honestly, you'd stay into the top 10. You'd be getting one of the top 3 wide receivers, whichever one that, you know, probably the Chargers might end up picking. The You got that one. Minnesota wise, they traded for Houston's first for a reason. That's gonna be in it because you're trading from 4 to 11 out of the top 10. It'll be 11, 23, and a first rounder next year we trade out with Minnesota. Now the Raiders, I have no idea what they can honestly offer. I really don't. They got their first next year. You know, they could put in a second this year, but that's not beating Minnesota. That's
But the
not.
Raiders are the Raiders, man. You got to bank on that. First that they give you next year is going to be I don't want to say lottery pick, but a top 10 pick
I don't know,
because
man. They
they're the
built up that D
Raiders.
line. They got Tay Adams. I don't know. I don't know. I'd rather take Minnesota's just because you get 23, you get 11, and a first rounder next year. I see
So
that as a
if
dub.
you take Minnesota's, right? Minnesota's, then I see you guys getting Roman and say bye-bye to not getting Marvin Harrison.
Honestly, if we trade it back to 11, we saw this happen last year. Monty Ossenfort will trade it back up into the top 10. Some way, somehow, you know, he'd probably do it most likely with Tennessee or the Falcons. In some way, somehow, he will get Romo Dunes, and I don't hate it. I love Romo Dunes. This guy is
Tell me about him. Tell me
the
about him.
best X factor, the best X receiver in the draft. Now Marvin Harrison is the all around do it, move him around wherever you want. But Romo Dunes, he's a different breed. This guy
And
is
at
the
11, you
jump
could
off
probably even pick up
50-50.
Brock Bowers.
No, we got Trey McBride. Excuse me. Trey McBride is more than enough that we need from the tight end spot.
So, in actuality, we got Marvin Harris Jr. He's off the board because if you guys trade out, I see I see Los Angeles picking him up in a heartbeat, and that would be a good nightmare for Patrick Mahomes and the whole AFC West. But what do you see the Los Angeles Chargers doing?
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't sleep on them taking a tackle. I wouldn't sleep on
Joe
that.
Alt, you see Joe Alt there?
I would see Joe Alt or Talise Fuaga. Talise Fuaga fits exactly what Jim Harbaugh has been
Say
trying
that
to bring.
again. Say that again.
Talise Fuaga?
Hawaga.
Yeah, but he fits exactly what Jim Harbaugh has been trying to preach. They brought in Greg Roman. They got both the running backs from the Ravens, Edwards and Dobbins. They want to run the football. Kuage, or however you want to say it. He's the physical mauler, run blocking beast that they want. And they could go Joe Alt. Joe Alt's the most polished tackle in the draft. He's a huge beast, 6'9".
Yes,
He's
sir.
like 340.
All right, let's
He's the best
let's
tackle
let's
in the
get
draft.
this keep going. What do you see with the Giants? The Giants are on the clock. What do you see the Giants doing? I mean the Giants doing.
If they don't trade up, they're gonna go nabbers. They gotta go neighbors or nabbers, however you want to say it,
Neighbors from LSU, correct?
from LSU. Yes, this guy is a playmaker. He's I think he's more dynamic than Dunes and Marvin Harrison, but he's got speed. This guy is just explosive with everything he does. I see him more as a slot type of wide receiver. He can move around. He's 6 foot. He can move around everywhere throughout the field, but I think he's best used into the slot, mainly because the way that he plays his game is with speed, is with his mobility, is with his, he's getting you to move around, beating you sideline to sideline. That's what he likes to do. He's not a true X wide receiver, not like Marvin Harrison or Dunes,
Yeah,
fighting for those 50-50 balls. He's not like that. He's more like using him like Debo Samuel. He could be used in the run
physical.
game. He's got that,
He's
big,
just a
sturdier
football.
body.
He's just a weapon. He's not just the
Exactly.
next receiver. We got to keep this moving. Um, but they got and another thing with the Giants. If they get a wide receiver, they need a quarterback to throw it to.
They
I'm
do. They
sorry,
do.
they do. So that's why JJ McCarthy's on the board. But we already went through that. The Tennessee Titans, and this is where I think Joel is really going. He's going to
Yeah,
go to Tennessee
this
for
is
Will
his spot.
Levis, and they're going to build on that. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. The Titans' offensive line, doo doo, absolute trash. They need to start building this up.
Garbage.
Joe Alt is where you start. That's exactly where you start. He's the most polished. He's the best offensive tackle in this draft.
It's those golden domers, man. Those golden domers. They produce. Okay, hey, we got ourselves a man in the building. Oh, I removed him. Son of a gun. No, I didn't. Let me unmute him. Did I mute his mic? There he goes. There he goes. How we doing? Thank you for joining us on the Fatboy Sports Podcast. A member of the 300 Pounders. Our man, our man. The reason that we're doing this today, and we can, our boy. What's up, Mr. Dallas Cowboy Chris? What's going on?
Well, I was just going to be in the back. I was going to be producing for you, but you brought me on.
So look. All right, that's fine. But you know what? But we do we appreciate your knowledge, especially because this year you're real focus. You were real focused on your blue. The blue obviously made it to the end. They're holding the belt. They're Max Holloway. They're the baddest motherfuckers right now. They're holding that belt. And let's go back to JJ McCarthy. You see him being a good pro quarterback? And do you think it's worth it for the Minnesota Vikings or the New York Giants to go up to the Cardinals and take that pick?
Well, first of all, I would never want to see him in New York. Number one, because that would destroy my life in every aspect if JJ McCarthy played for anybody in the NFC East. But if he played in Minnesota, I would love it. I would cheer for him. Um, but it's like this JJ. I saw JJ at his all his 3 years at Michigan. He was just a dual threat quarterback. He could do it with his feet. He can do it with his arm. And a lot of people are underestimating his arm because JJ has made big time throws at Michigan. But when you think of Michigan, you think about them being a running college football team.
Physical.
They run to pass, but if you go back to the playoff games when JJ needed to take over a game, JJ was able to do that. And like I said on our show Tuesday, I was like, look, Blake Corum has made J.J. McCarthy a first round pick.
That's
Uh,
exactly what I was trying to get.
so, basically, if JJ never had the opportunity to actually take over um, the whole offense like Daniels did, Caleb Williams have, like Drake may have, because that's the only thing they had at Michigan. They were so balanced. You really didn't need JJ to take over. But what happened was when he was at Michigan and he became the starting quarterback because our quarterback was good, McNamara, but he just didn't have that extra gear. JJ has that extra gear. Okay, he
The
has that.
elusivity.
Yeah, he has that competitiveness. So wherever he goes, he's gonna be a good quarterback. But it also has to be the system too. So if you got a good quarterback coach and a good run game, JJ is the person for you.
Well, and that goes along with, Brian Dable needing that guy because he inherited Daniel Jones. I like he look exactly like Eli Manny Jones. So that's why I said I don't think they're going to settle on not getting the quarterback. I could see them trading in, even if Drake May, it's either Drake May or JJ McCarthy in my book. So we appreciate you going on. If you want to keep going with us, Bubba, you can. If you want to produce us, that's fine. We're going to keep going with this list because we only got so much time left, big dog.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
blue.
Just throw me in the backstage. Just remove me, and I'll be in the backstage. Okay.
That's the big dog. That's the producer right now. So we're getting extra hands. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Who's next on the draft board? Joe Alt is off the draft board. Who's next?
You got the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh man, I still want Bijan Robinson, man. But you keep going, Bubba. Keep going.
Yeah, they got their offense situated. They brought in Kirk Cousins. They don't need offense. They need defense. And honestly, they don't have a edge rusher. This is where Dallas Turner, their first defensive player, will be going. This guy is Brian Burns 2.0,
You don't
basically.
think Curse will be off before Dallas Turner? I like Curse. I like FSU's Curse. He's a monster, bro.
I don't
But I
know.
get it.
I
But
don't
at the
know.
same time, I understand Kirk Cousins has been this savvy guy and he's a savvy businessman and he's been productive and he has all this weapon around him. But he's 36 years old, coming off an
Yes.
Achilles injury. Not everybody is LeBron James. Not everybody has the pliability of
Hey,
Tom Brady.
honestly, I think he lasts 2 years before they start thinking about getting a quarterback. But they're going all in. I think they start with Edge.
So do you think he's going to have that one Matt Ryan season, the 2016 season? Do you think Kirk Cousins worth one Matt Ryan season?
I think they get to the playoffs. I think they get maybe a wild card spot. He'll probably throw for like maybe 4,500 yards, something like that. But I really don't see him having that much success. Like you say, he's getting old. He's up there. They brought him in just to be a distributor of the ball. That's all he's really gonna be. That's all he has been.
Oh yeah, who's next? Who's next? Let's look. I'm getting lost in my draft board now. I'm getting a little lazy now that I don't have to get on there. The Atlanta Falcons, and then now we got Chicago once again. The night Chicago died. And I said this before, and I really think the Washington kid is going here. They're taking the quarterback number one, and then number 9 they're gonna pair him up with this kid Roman. We saw this kid Roman operate. He made Michael Penix Jr. look great. Michael Penix Jr. is a good quarterback. After like 10 ACLs and 10 years in college, he looked great, and he's a left-handed quarterback. But I digress. This kid looked like a pro kid.
It's
We
this
got a front
man,
row seat.
Rome Odunze. Romo Dunze. I
Is it
I call
Romo or
him
Roman
Larry
Dunze?
Fitzgerald. I think it's Odunze. But I like to see him as Larry Fitzgerald 2.0 coming out of
What?
college.
Hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
Did you utter the word? Did you? This is not to be sacrilegious. This is your Messiah we're talking
I
about
know.
here.
I know.
Are
Yeah.
you biting your tongue? Are you really saying this? Is this coming out of your mouth? Your
I'm
mouth?
not
Because
saying I'm not saying he's
earlier in
gonna
the
be a
week,
legend like Larry. I'm saying he's got the Larry skills. Larry
2.0,
was a
2.0.
ball Larry 2.0. Larry was a ball 50-50 contested catches artist. That's what Larry Legend was. Romo Dunze has the 6'3 build. He's a 50-50 machine. He's so savvy with all his routes and getting open. He knows how to manipulate a DB into going in so he could go out and get the ball. He's honestly got the best hands out of the big three. I love Marvin Harrison, but Marvin Harrison can't catch these 50-50 balls like O'Doones does.
He got those hands, huh? But Larry Fitzgerald's hands are legendary. Hey, he was
God.
in after 10 years, he was still in single digit drops for his career. It was ridiculous.
More, more tackles than drops. It's still that's the legend. That's the legend. I'm not saying he's gonna be like that. I'm not saying he's gonna be legend like Larry, but I'm saying coming out of college, Larry was the 50-50 ball king, and this is what O'Doones is. He's a 50-50 baller.
Okay, to get it forward now, I said this name before, and I think this is where he's gonna drop because we've seen this kid since his freshman year, and paired up with Aaron Rodgers, paired up with what we'll see this man's Achilles. See if this man's Achilles. The New York Jets are picking next, and they're picking this kid that we've seen that's won things that changed the life of Bulldog fans around the country. We're talking about Brock Bowers. And first of all, this fucker's name, Brock fucking Bowers. Like you give him this fucking name and you already just anoint him. You're gonna be
Exactly.
six. You're gonna be 6'6", 250, and you're gonna be jumping out the gym and catching everything out of the fucking world like this fucking guy, like
Yeah,
straight up gave him
honestly,
corn just out of the womb.
yeah, I see this guy as George Kittle 2.0. He's a wide receiver at tight end, an elite route runner, but it's what he does after he catches the ball. Just like George Kittle, this man is a yak artist. He trucks over dudes, stiff arms. He can juke, and he's got more talent that should put him in the top five. But I think it's tight end history and what every other tight end in the first round has done that has lowered his value. He should be a top five pick, but he's gonna go 10 just because the tight end value has been lowered.
Well, tight ends are coming out of the woodwork. You could get a great tight end in the third round, fourth round. Jake Ferguson. 2 years ago, we let Dalton Schultz go, and then we just plug and play. It's just the time of the tight end, and it's the superfoods that we're in. We're not eating at Sprouts. We're eating at Costco. That's what's happening, and these kids are growing bigger and bigger, and. With Brock, do you think, like, I like that you alluded to that because I was going to ask you this question. Who do you think is, I understand who's going first, but who is the best player in this draft? And a lot of people are saying Brock Bowers. I
No.
think for my vote, I would say Joe Alt.
See, yeah, that's a great point. Honestly, Joe Alt, everybody has already anointed him as a future Hall of Famer. That's how great Joe Alt has been at
Gold
at
jacket,
the offensive
please.
tackle position. But see, that's being an offensive lineman. I love offensive linemen. He's probably one of the best to come out in the past few years in the draft.
We don't love offensive linemen. We need offensive linemen. Like me and you don't love offensive linemen. Because when I
Me
was thinking
neither.
about this podcast, I was thinking about the DT podcast, the Stop the Run podcast, the Rush Stop Rush pass, but they're all done because this is a defensive tackle podcast. I'm the two, he's the three, and we got the middle podcast, the Run Stuffer podcast, all you can eat podcast. Remember, like, subscribe. If you like us, tell your friends about us. So, Bondo, the biggest, do you see any other trades happening? Like, we got to expedite this. We could do this all night, but we are on a time limit. Do you see any big trades happening from 10? Anybody jumping up from the 20s to the 10s or the teens? Or do you see anything happening? And what do you see happening with your Cardinals in that 27th pick?
First on the trades, I think we do see a little bit of the trades. I think somebody's gonna end up trading up for Michael Penix. I see that. I don't see him leaving the first round. You know, he's a great pocket passer QB. He's not leaving the first round. I think somebody's gonna either trade up in front of the last remaining of the Vikings, Broncos, or Raiders to snag him, or one of them leapfrogs the other. Either way, I think somebody's trading for Michael Penix. And I see a trade for a wide receiver. I see somebody going up to snag a wide receiver. One of the, this is a deep, talented class, but there's a little bit of fallout from the top 5 or
So
6.
do you see the Raiders getting Xavier Worth? Like you could
Oh
see
man,
that
that would
happen
be
just for the
perfect.
simple flat that Mark that he'll be like his daddy and get the fastest player available. He's fast, he's lightning fast, and you could see it all over again, and you could see and he's not the best Texas receiver in his own freaking wide receiver room, but you could see the Raiders jumping on X.
I could definitely see. They have the history. I don't see why not. I don't see why not. You pair that next up to Tay Adams, you got something cooking there.
So since we're on the subject of the Raiders, because people do care about the Raiders and they are polarizing, can you see Michael Penix Jr. falling to the Raiders, or is that
Honestly,
is that
that's the
too
sweet
high?
spot for him. No, I think that's the sweet spot for him. He's gonna be middle of the round. He's somewhere right there. Michael Penix, he's got is really the biggest thing on him is those injuries. The two ACLs. He's had shoulder injuries left and right,
And he's left-handed.
and he's
Oh my God, he's
left-handed.
left-handed. And
Exactly.
Papa's, what do you know about the sweet spot? Can you tell me what the sweet spot is?
The sweet. God.
This is the Fatboy Sports Podcast. Remember, like, subscribe. This is our draft. Remember, follow Armando. His tag is right there. You could follow me. We appreciate you guys. Let's go back to what you think your Cardinals are gonna do in the pick number 27.
I don't see us not trading up from this pick. We have 3 third rounders. We gotta pair it up with the 27 to trade up. This pick's gonna be lineman based, either line offensive lineman or D lineman. I include edge rusher into that. I think my favorite, honestly, is Byron Murphy or Latu Latu. One of those two.
That Washington kid, Latu, is that
UCLA,
UCLA kid?
that edge rusher. I think he's the best edge rusher in the class, honestly. I have him above Dallas Turner, but his injury concerns are exactly what keep him from getting top 10.
That Dallas Turner is intriguing to me. Very, very intriguing to me. First of all, because of his name, and I wouldn't put it past Jerry Jones to get a pass rusher. I wouldn't put it past him or to get that. He's a linebacker, correct?
Dallas Turner? Yeah, he's an outside linebacker.
He's outside linebacker. So, oh, and what do you really want? What do you really want at the 27th pick? Say it, make it happen. You gotta be, you gotta, it's like the secret. You gotta speak it into existence. Say it 3 times in the morning, say it 6 times in the afternoon, say it 9 times at night.
I
Say it.
want an edge
Grow,
rusher.
grow,
I
grow.
want Latu Latu. That's exactly who I want. We don't have an edge rusher. We need somebody to rush the passer. And if not him, if we stay at 27, I want Jackson Powers Johnson. I want the
At 27, see,
at
this is
27.
where we're gonna CB you a little bit. Everybody wants,
Exactly.
everybody's asking why he's slipping. So, lay two, you said that correct?
Latu Latu. Edge
Okay,
rusher.
so this is the Cowboys of Network, and God forbid we forget to talk about the Cowboys. Hell yeah. But like going back to Jackson Powers Johnson, and there's situations that could happen, and God forbid we do the deal with the devil and trade back to what is it, the 30th pick, and that would be
31st.
the 49ers, the 31st pick. Pick up a second rounder that we need, or the fourth rounder that we need, and maybe pick up a Jordan Morgan, because I still love the finesse. And then Jordan Morgan, they're talking about him more being a guard. I'm fine with Jordan Morgan being that guard, and then moving Tyler Smith over at tackle. Everybody's like, what do we do at tackle? We got our tackle 2 years ago. He was an all rookie
Yeah.
tackle, and he is an all pro guard. I want the Mauler, but we got him. He's still on the team. He's still on the cheap, and we still have him. Put that Jordan Morgan there, and that'd be great. And you know what? I am. I'm loving Brock Hoffman. I talked about it earlier in the off season. If Jackson Powers Johnson is there, I don't know. It's Sticky Thursday. We like those stickies. I like it. So I, I'll speak this into fruition. I will speak the trade back and picking up Jordan Morgan. As much as I want that center, I like where Brock Hoffman is. I wouldn't get mad if we pick up Jackson Powers Johnson. I wouldn't get mad at all. And it's crazy because earlier in the draft process, he didn't fall this hard. He fell from the heavens. He did something. They looked at an old post. They found somebody's dirty underwear in his drawer or something. There's something that they're not saying. But the Dallas Cowboys are great at this. And I want Jordan Moore. Mims is a possibility as well. You guys might get Mims. So we'll see with that. Just remember. This has been a good show.
This has.
This has been a good show, but this is an insight of the Avalanche rides. This is the insight of watching TV. This kid could eat ramen noodles for days, you know what I mean? and just sitting down and chopping it up. And this is an insight into those conversations. Is there anything else you would want to say in closing? Because next week at this time, we are going to have a show. We are going to be doing it live. The Cowboy Up podcast is going to be doing a live draft show. Armando's going to be a part of it, along with Rue, Armando 21, and the big dog, Chris. So just check your listings and check when we're going to do it. We'll see who's streaming faster. Because you know me and my fire stick. Anyway, dry snitching. And just remember, the Fatboy Sports Podcast is going to be a part of it. It's going to be a collaboration with that. But it's all you can eat sports, the buffet. Anything you want to say, Mondo, so we could close this out. Let everybody get their rest. I'm excited, and this was a good kickoff to a good show. We had a bumpy start on our start, but you know what? This has made my heart happy, and I just can't say enough. You got anything else to say?
Trades galore. Trades galore is going to be the theme of the draft, and it's going to start at number 4. It's going to be the Arizona Cardinals trading back. I'm praying for it. I'm praying for a trade back. I love Harrison, but give me more picks and a Dunze any day.
A Dunze. Well, like I said, if we get Jackson Powers Johnson, I won't be sad. If we get Jordan Morgan, I'll be elated, because it'd be the first Arizona Wildcat on our roster since Nick Folk. And that was a long time ago. But this is a part of the season. It makes me sad because the year is going. And as soon as football season, we're a little bit grayer. We're a little bit grayer. We're a little bit balder. We're a little bit older. But it's here and it's upon us and it's on our heels. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, you're gonna get this every Thursday for the most part when somebody makes it on time or doesn't have to work. But this has been a pleasure, Mondo, and let's make this blow up. Everybody, God bless you guys. From us to you, family first. Puro Pichi Cowboys. You got anything else, Mondo?
That's it. Go Cardinals, baby. Bird gang.
Turd gang. Booyah, baby.